My turn, Dada, whispered Bharat as he softly tapped Ram's shoulder. Ram immediately tied his pouch to his waistband. Sorry. Bharat turned to the injured rabbit lying on the ground. He first anesthetized the animal and then quickly pulled out the splinter of wood buried in its paw. The wound was almost septic, but the medicine he applied would prevent further infection. The animal would awaken a few minutes later, on the road to recovery, if not immediately ready to face the world. As Bharat cleaned his hands with medicinal herbs, Ram gently picked up the rabbit and wedged it into a nook in a tree to keep it away from predators. He glanced at Bharat. It will wake up soon. It will leave. Bharat smiled. By the grace of Lord Rudra. Ram, Bharat, Lakshman and Shatrughan were on one of their fortnightly expeditions into the jungle, where they tended to injured animals. They did not interfere in a predator's hunt. It was only its natural behavior. But if they came upon an injured animal, they assisted it to the best of their abilities. Dada, said Shatrughan, standing at a distance, watching his elder brothers with keen concentration. Ram and Bharat turned around. A disheveled Lakshman was even farther away. Behind Shatrughan, he was distractedly throwing stones at a tree. Lakshman, don't linger at the back, said Ram. We are not in the ashram. This is the jungle. There is danger in being alone. Lakshman sighed in irritation and walked up to the group. Yes, what is it, Shatrughan? Asked Ram, turning to his youngest brother. Bharat Dada, put Jatyadi tail on the rabbit's wound. Unless you cover it with neem leaves, the medicine will not be effective. Of course, exclaimed Ram, tapping his forehead. You're right, Shatrughan. Ram picked up the rabbit as Bharat pulled out some neem leaves from his leather pouch. Bharat looked at Shatrughan, grinning broadly. Is there anything in the world that you do not know, Shatrughan? Shatrughan smiled. Not much. Bharat applied the neem leaves on the rabbit's wound, tied the bandage again and placed him back in the nook. Ram said, I wonder if we actually help these animals on our bi-weekly medical tour, or are we just assuaging our conscience? We are assuaging our conscience, said Bharat with a wry smile. Nothing's more, but at least we aren't ignoring our conscience. Ram shook his head. Why are you so cynical? Why are you not cynical at all? Ram raised his eyebrows resignedly and began to walk. Bharat caught up with him. Lakshman and Shatrughan fell in line, a few steps behind. Knowing the human race, how can you not be cynical? Bharat asked. Come on, said Ram. We are capable of greatness, Bharat. All we need is an inspirational leader. Dada, said Bharat. I am not suggesting that there is no goodness in human beings. There is, and it is worth fighting for. But there is also so much viciousness that sometimes I think it would have been better for the planet if the human species simply did not exist. That's too much. We are not so bad. Bharat laughed softly. All I'm suggesting is that greatness and goodness is a potential in a majority of humans, not a reality. What do you mean? Expecting people to follow rules just because they should is being too hopeful. Rules must be designed to dovetail with selfish interest because people are primarily driven by it. They need to be shepherded into good behavior through this proclivity. People also respond to calls for greatness. No, they don't, Dada. There may be a few who will answer that call, most won't. Lord Rudra led people selflessly, didn't he? Yes, said Bharat. But only who followed him had their own selfish interests in mind. That is fact. Ram shook his head. We will never agree on this. Bharat smiled. Yes, we won't. But I still love you. Ram smiled as well, changing the topic. How was your holiday? I never get to speak with you when we are there. You know why, muttered Bharat. But I must admit it was not too bad this time. Bharat loved to have his maternal relatives visit Ayodhya. It was an opportunity for him to escape his stern mother. Kaikeyi did not like his spending too much time with his brothers. In fact, if she could have her way, she would keep him to herself exclusively during the times when they were home. To make matters worse, she would insist on endless conversations about the need for him to be great and fulfill his mother's destiny. The only people Kaikeyi did not mind sharing her son with were her own blood family. The presence of his maternal grandparents and uncle on this holiday ensured that Bharat was free of his mother. He had spent practically the entire vacation in their indulgent company. Ram punched Bharat playfully in his stomach. She's your mother, Bharat. She only wants what is best for you. I could do with some love instead, Dada. You know, I remember when I was 3, I once dropped a glass of milk and she slapped me. She slapped me so hard in the presence of her maids. You remember stuff from when you were 3? I thought I was the only one who did. How can I forget? I was a little boy. The glass was too big for my hands. It was heavy. It slipped. That's it. Why did she have to slap me? Ram understood his stepmother Kaikeyi. She had her share of frustrations. She'd been the brightest child in her family. Unfortunately, her brilliance did not make her father proud. Quite the contrary, Ashwapati was unhappy that Kaikeyi outshone his son, Yudhajit. It appalled Ram that society did not value capable women. And now, the intelligent yet frustrated Kaikeyi sought vigorous recognition through Bharat, her son. She aimed to realize her ambitions through him. Ram held his counsel though. Bharat continued wistfully. If only I had a mother like yours, she would have loved me unconditionally and not chewed my brain. Ram did not respond, but he got the feeling that something was playing on Bharat's mind. What is it, Bharat? Asked Ram without turning to look at his younger brother. Bharat lowered his voice so that Lakshman and Shatrughan wouldn't overhear. Ram Dada, have you thought about what Guruji said today? Ram held his breath. Dada? Asked Bharat. Ram stiffened. This is treason. I refuse to entertain such thoughts. Treason? To think about the good of your country? He is our father. There are duties that we have. Do you think he is a good king? Bharat interrupted. There is a law in the Manu Smriti that clearly states a son must. Don't tell me what the law says, Dada, said Bharat, dismissing with a wave of his hand the laws recorded in the book of Manu. I have read the Manu Smriti too. I want to know what you think. I think the law must be obeyed. Really? Is that all you have to say? I can add to that. Please do. The law must always be obeyed. Bharat rolled his eyes in exasperation. I understand that this might not work under a few exceptional circumstances, said Ram. But if the law is obeyed diligently, come what may, then over a period of time a better society has to emerge. Nobody in Ayodhya gives two hoots about the law, Dada. We are civilization in an advanced state of decay. We are the most hypocritical people on earth. We criticize corruption in others but are blind to our own dishonesty. We hate others who do wrong and commit crimes, blithely ignoring our own misdeeds, big and small. We vehemently blame Raavan for all our ills, refusing to acknowledge that we created the mess we find ourselves in. And how will this change? This attitude is basic human nature. We would rather look outward and blame others for the ills that befall us than point the finger at ourselves. I've said it before and I'll say it again. We need a king who can create systems with which one can harness even selfish human nature for the betterment of society. Nonsense. We need a great leader, one who will lead by example. a leader who will inspire his people to discover their goodhood within. We don't need a leader who will leave his people free to do whatever they desire. No, Dada, freedom is an ally, if used with wisdom. Freedom is never the ally of the law. We can have freedom to choose whether you want to join or leave a society based on the rule of law. But so long as you live in such a society, you must obey the law. The law is and always will be an ass. It's a tool, a means to an end, said Bharat. Ram brought the exchange to an end with a convivial laugh. Bharat grinned and patted his brother on his back. So, all these things you say about a great leader being inspirational and enabling the discovery of the God within and other such noble things, said Bharat. You think father lives up to that ideal? Ram cast a reproachful look at his brother, refusing to rise to the bait. Bharat grinned playfully, boxing Ram on his shoulder. Let it be, Dada, let it be. Ram is genuinely conflicted. But as a dutiful son, he would not allow himself, even in his own mind, to entertain rebellious thoughts against his father. Lakshman, walking a few steps behind, was engrossed in the frenetic activities of the jungle. Shatrughan, however, was listening in on the conversation with keen interest. Ram Dada is too idealistic. Bharat Dada is practical and real.